Roll20 and Superstars currently tied 1-1 as we head into game number 3. Superstars looked really good. They are running compositions that really are not what we would associate, at least with what we've seen so far from Superstars in Phase 1. Game 1 didn't work to plan, but Game 2 was magnificent.
It worked out. It also was better on the map. I mean, let's be honest here. Test Tracer on BOE, you hear that, you're like, I'm pretty scared. You're on 2, you're like, the trade-off there, is it going to be worth? And that's also another problem I want to bring up. We've only seen Task Tracer from Superstars in these first 2 games. What if that's as far as it goes? I'm not trying to say, you know, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, the crusher of the hype train. I want to ride. I want my ticket. I want to be on the hype train. It's just,
put your conductor hat on.
Yeah, you know, I want to be a part of the squad. It's just I want to take a minute, take a breather, because I think we need more drafts out of Superstars.
Well, how do you feel about Task Tracer on Dragonshire?
Hopefully not. You know, I feel like it's going to be as impactful. We're just going to stare at it till it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Superstars is going to take us to Dragonshire. This is exactly what we would expect from them. It's their favorite map. The first time they've had the opportunity to be able to choose which map we're going to. But I'm not even going to say that I think it helps anyone or anything at all. I'm now done with the according to the personal trends and strengths. I'm just going to go with absolute objective overall. This is what I like because
window.
Yeah, just get it out. Who needs this thing? Useless
like,
data. Throw it down there. Those are your lives.
I thought you were going to throw that, and I was basically slow motion like, no, don't. It's fine. I'm glad you didn't want to throw your tablet. You're not that angry.
I may want to, but I don't know if I have enough esports dollars yet to be able to replace it. Roll20, what do we want to see here? They're going to go with the Uther removal. Does Tassadar or Dahaka, or is it something different?
Medivh.
The Medivh. There's a lot that Superstars can do, but I think it's up to them to be the ones making the plays here in the draft.
Genji?
Start with the Genji. Does Roll20 100% the Dahaka because the value on the map and, again, that ability to get it everywhere, or do they just let it, not even let it go through?
Is it noob more important to them to be able to have that?
Oh, I forgot I'm not putting personal flavor on my draft analysis here. They go with the Dahaka. I'm going to stick with that. Now I'm going objective draft analysis. Okay, I got this. This is my...
Got the mask on?
Yeah. So with the solo pressure up onto top, so essentially does Superstars think that the Malthael is impactful enough that they need to pick it this high up now that they had success with it in the last game? And honestly, they look so good with it, I wouldn't be surprised. They go with the Task still. Screw it, I want it. I want the Malthael.
Right
that was with personal flavor I put on it. Darn it! I can't stop this!
How dare you analyze with your heart?
I know. My
you
emotions.
want Malthael here. I think if they don't get it there, Roll20 will ban it.
Which is why I said you would have to pick it. Like, yeah, that's why I think they would have to pick it this high if they want it. And it's like one of those, like, do we take that risk because it looked so good in the last game and we expect not to get it again? They are not going to. We get ourselves in a new Barak, so stick into a normal one.
Can't fault them for wanting to get a new Barak there.
Cannot hate anybody. For Uther and a new Barak are the 2 heroes where anytime I see a team pick it, I go, yeah, why not? Like, just, they're really good. They're point and click, and they have huge impact with both of those heroics and the heroes. So now for Roll20, though, what do we want to see out of them? With the tasks that are gone, less incentive into things like, again, those kind of non-Dahaka or the counters into it with the things like the Illidan with Arthas that we see so frequently out of them. It's less it's less likely.
Well, they've banned Uther, so there's a possibility that they go ahead and get Malfurion here if they want to make sure that they get the support that they deem appropriate. Granted, at this point, it seems more so like we're just going to ban Uther because he's objectively strong and then we're fine.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily need to support Choke as much here. It's just more about taking Uther away from the equation. But is something like a Stitches a possibility here? Or Arthas and Li Ming?
Wow, I didn't think they would do the Arthas without the task, I'll be honest.
I also didn't think they would Li Ming that high, but there we go.
I think the Li Ming has a bit to do with the Arthas. North America, I haven't talked too much about this, but we are starting a trend of the Win Harder era. I don't know if you remember the compositions we were running. It was last time when Sylph was really meta. And then we saw Sylph kind of later afterwards for a long while too, even though she wasn't necessarily that impactful. We seem to be taking that mentality with the Arthas. As every time I see a team picking it, it's we want to win harder comp. It's not as drastic as the Sylph, but the same thought process, like, oh, going to the Arthas, where's our reset, right? Like, where's our chase? Where's our everything else moving in? It's just, with the power of Arthas, with the buffs in him, it does look like that's where North America's thought process is headed.
Superstars ban. Is this...
If I'm Superstars, the only thing I want to remove is...
Mouth.
I wanted that on my side, though.
They don't. And
Yeah,
then mouth ale.
I'm not surprised with that. I was like, if they let the mouth ale through, I really want to see Superstars pick that up.
It's Kona, so it's got to be Rhaegar here.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to say it, but like, do they commit to the... Okay, is this where you go with the Holy Trinity, going with more Tass Ariel?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, that's what I want to see from
Ariel.
them. But if they go into... Like, if I see a Tracer variant here, I'm going to have no idea what to say about that. Like, last time it was on a small map, it had no impact. But then if you see it on a big one, I'm like... Or, excuse me, on a big one, they made it look amazing. But on the small one, again, like a Dragonshire, they need to get a lot of big plays. I can see them going like, man, remember how good that was in the last one?
The only other thing I can think that they might want here is Gul'dan over the Vala with Ariel. But
Yeah.
still very likely that Ariel is here.
There's the Ariel.
Or Lunara. The one other one that we didn't mention.
Yeah, that's a strong comp here for Superstars. And the Illidan that you normally would be like, is that going to be a thing as the last pick? Gonna say almost 100% no. It looks not good into the laning aspect and into the laning team fight matchups that Roll20's drafted so far. So I doubt that's going to be the case, but the Lunara hints towards we want to slow for someone. So who? Is it her? It can't be. The Tracer again?
Well,
There's no way.
you gotta have a solo.
I feel like it's like a
It would be
Tyrael
a
or a Leo or
Tass.
something. I don't mind the Leoric with the double supporting like that. Leo in long sustaining team fights. The Haka matchup isn't terrible.
It's
but I
Dragonshire.
want Royal Focus, please, North America. It's so good. It is an insane...
Even on this map where you're not going to be dual
any map,
soaking?
literally any map. I don't care. Dual soaking is insane. It is crazy even in a map where I'm taking one lane. Think about this. If I have taken the top 4 down Dragonshire at any point in the game and I move into Royal Focus, I drop the E, I walk all the way up to your keep, I one-shot the mini-wave and I started taking that, and I'm draining the ammo onto that. And if you gank me, because I just drop the E, you wait out the timer, there's a 1-second overlap between the two cooldowns, you hit the Q, you one-shot it, and you just go, who's next? Like, you're going to be a problem, and when they gank you, you go so far away that if anybody responded to you, you're pushing the other side of the map. It is actually insane, even in just one-lane maps. I'm not kidding. Wubby inspired me so much when I saw that build. I was
It's
like,
obvious.
he might be busted.
What is it, Superstars? What is Yoda playing? If not Leo, who's hanging out with the Dahaka top? Who gets to hang out with Goku?
Anything, if just not Zeratul, I beg.
Nah, I don't think.
I don't think so either, but again, weird things have happened on Dragonshire. Falstad was not where I was headed with that one. Let's
break
take a
this
minute.
one down. Let's
take
break
a minute.
it down.
All right, so laning phase with the Falstad pick. Why that seems so strange is who's going top? That's our big old question here. Falstad can be that placeholder. No one else except for Anubarak can fill that within this composition. Every other person has to go into the 4-man. Falstad can do it, but he doesn't do it well until post 7. So you have 7 levels of what the heck do I do? And in those 7 levels, Anubarak needs level 4. So now you have 3 levels of I just lose, unless I make a gank with my flight in something of the like in that rotation. I mean, just everything about the laning of Roll20 should be more dominant, minus the 4-man should be a little bit weaker on the side of Roll20 because Superstars has an insane 4.
Any chance of Tassadar? Just trying to wave clear it and hold on until Falstad gets to 7?
I guess you could technically put him as the placeholder, the not lose, but then you have way less pressure and way less wave clear
into
the
your 4-man because you are going to lose the solo.
Yes. So it's a conundrum here for Superstars.
Let's see how they solve it. We're going into Game 3 on Dragonshire between Roll20 and Superstars. See you inside.
Is this when we're inside Dragonshire?
Yes, we're
like, are you and I inside?
We are in the Nexus. You didn't know? We've been there this whole time. We are commentating from the Nexus.
I've been kidnapped by this Nexus you speak of. Talents at level 1 so far are the norm here for these teams. Nobody's feigning the rotation up the top. I want to know. I feel like they're going to try and run a 3-2 or something, and I'm just going to die a little bit. Here's our replay. Yep, they're at the gate still.
King Mecha Tassadar.
That is actually pretty dope. Him on the cloud mount.
Fancy.
He is. Here's the reveal. I love level 1 fights.
Yeah?
Like, look at it. Look at us here. We have no goal, but we do have a goal. Everybody respecting the halfway mark. It's a line that nobody drew, but everybody knows exists.
Oh, that's disrespectful of that mark. Justin just goes in through the portal, takes out Lunara. First blood. Roll20.
There's the portal play. This is what Roll20 is known for. And Medivh on this map, he does struggle in the wave clear, but he helps so much with mobility and rotations of everybody else onto the team. You expect him to concentrate onto the 1-4. Gilly, the news is in. Falstad is that placeholder. He will be the top. He's going to struggle a bit up until, again, the 7 mark where he can really become effective into the lane. Other than that, Dahaka just goes, well, I'll wave clear, and you can deal with my self-sustain.
Well, I would say that against that, Superstars have the wave clear of Tassadar. They have some things here. They didn't get anything like crippling spores or cruel spores, so they are going to be slowed down, but they have an Ariel as well as Tassadar. But even still, there's an Arthas. And Roll20 feels so confident in their ability to get kills with having Medivh, Li-Ming, Rhaegar, and Arthas in their 4-man. And the way that they're positioning their portals, that Superstars almost just seem too scared to be able to go out and try to win those rotations.
And so watch this, actually. That's a really good point you bring up. If the next wave happens, watch how Prismat is rotating towards mid. Now that the shrines are up, they may play it different, but their rotation on mid is actually insane. The lack of commitment out of Superstars allows Roll20 to win the laning harder. So not only because the splitting of the 4-man, which I often kind of have comments and remarks about whenever we see it, but because Li-Ming actually doesn't have wave clear unless you don't have anybody in the lane. And Tassadar is just going to let Li-Ming actually become a wave clear hero. She's never worried about her own positioning and her pressure. And so suddenly now we have another wave clear here on Roll20 because, again, Superstars is not committing together with their 4.
Right, so for Roll20, what would have maybe not been able for them to win the 4-man because they play so up in your face and bolster, they are even stronger. And you know that they're going to hold on to the top. So at least early on, this is working out well for Roll20.
Nice commitment with the portal there. To the Giants, picking it up quick. The members of Roll20 could get an invade here. I expect Medivh to scout it out. He just flew and used his level 4. The bird's eye view, but he's not going to be able to find him. No, they do, a little bit later than expected. And still late enough to not be able to get the camp.
Goku came in, Drag's there, they're going to get this kill. Ariel goes down, Falstad's going to fly in right on top of Justine. No, thank you.
And now we find ourselves back with man down, giant pressure not on bottom. Roll20 here has a lot of control on the map. Not enough to be able to find themselves a Dragonite, I don't believe. But it's really just going to be a slow and steady game like this is what I expect to see from Roll20, just purely based off the draft. And now, seeing the laning choices here for Superstars. Normally, that isn't big of a deal. I guess I don't know how many times I should say it, is how I view it, is like, how many times can we look at Dragonshire and be like, this map plays so much under laning where I don't care how good your team fight is, we need to look at this, you know, for every single person at home a completely different way. This map is all about how can manipulate those minions and how can we transition out one another. It's not about what does their team fight look like, what is ours.
And considering how the teams have drafted in the past, at least for the beginning of Phase 2, you would think Superstars would be the ones being able to run this laning phase.
I would argue that's part of the reason Superstars was one of the few teams, first teams, to be like, yeah, we love Dragonshire and Tomb, is because they love playing a map, and those maps give you the best odds to play the map and still get a win.
Arrow was able to force out Cleanse, but now he's going to pay for it with his life buds in the collapse. Both of the altars were held for a little while, but even with getting or losing these 2 kills, Superstars weren't able to get the Dragon Knight. Buds really wanted more.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna go down. Good night, my sweet prince. That's what we get. Lunara there, you know, she's a sneaky snake.
That girl is poison.
Yeah, and she wore an extra shot from the turrets. Conveniently, he did move down enough to make sure he couldn't get shot by one of the turrets, but the other one hit him, and he falls. A kill for Superstars, but they're still down a bit, and they're about down on more importantly than anything, just the control of the map and the rotations. And with Rhaegar down, they didn't gain anything too much either, only this bottom shrine, which at least it's something.
Yeah, they have stopped Roll20 from being able to get the Dragon Knight, but it's a weird spot to be in. It's a tough spot to be in because they're falling behind in experience. Roll20 have been able to keep pressure on at least enough that they have started to get an edge in experience, and if Superstars can't catch up in time, there will be a window of time where if Roll20 play their cards right, they could collapse in with heroic abilities.
Oh man, Urho with that flank. You know, I say that, but then out of the corner, Glorong there on the Medivh, go ahead, drops the portal even in case the good initiation was going to be successful. Superstars, though, get the Dragon Knight because of Medivh's transition towards bottom and nobody getting anything out of it.
The distraction was real for Superstars.
Yeah.
They are still behind with Roll20 just about to get heroics, but getting the Dragon Knight has stopped what could have been even more of Roll20 getting ahead.
Let's see what they can get here. Gonna go ahead and knock Glorong away, focusing up towards mid-front wall. Once that's obtained, they'll be able to get the 10, but Goku trying to force on bottom. He's got the mobility. He should be able to catch up. He's just out of range. He can't get it. Now, leaping strike out. The hook, or excuse me, the drag does land onto Urho. But Gilly, this is near perfect kiting from Superstars. What is this?
Yeah, that was an amazing cocoon, even a follow-up too. I loved the punt on Medivh too because he was trying to still build up his Master's Touch stacks. He's about halfway done on that. Superstars make it out of all of that. And they get the Dragon Knight. They punish Roll20 for trying to collapse on the bottom lane. They don't do a whole lot with the DK, but it's enough.
Yeah, it's a 7-minute Dragon Knight is like, I mean, what would I argue is ideal? Always like one front wall and maybe like two maybe, unless I got a kill. Then I would say a fort would be like the biggest. So it was borderline, you know, most optimal. Superstars, I'm still just so torn, man. Like, I want to sit here and just be like, are they going to take over? Like, is this the moment for their play? Oh, Stray getting caught out. The Disintegrate, Aegis is used, but eventually Goku's going to get it.
Goku's there. First kill hits Tassadar now. Leyline seal. Just enough. Oh, the Gust being used to equalize. Superstars end up still getting the camp.
They're 4 versus 5, and they're the ones aggressing. All of Roll20 is walking away from that, not wanting anything to do with that fight. Again, this is what I was trying to say before that skirmish is like, the lack of consistency, and normally when we say that, it's like you know, their lack of ability to perform at the top level that we normally see them. But I genuinely mean, in like the doing something multiple times, and how frequently they're doing. They aren't. They're essentially running compositions and running playstyles to where they're mixing it up completely. I lost my train of thought halfway through that sentence. I had a good point, but what I'm trying to say is I can't evaluate their strength because they're mixing so many things up, and sometimes it's working, and it's not making so much sense as to why it is. You know what I mean? They would be willing to take a 5 versus 5 at one section of the map, and then 2 seconds later, they're going like, well, what if we 4 versus 5? And they're kind of winning it. And I almost wonder if that lack of predictability is part of the reason they have that success, or if I'm actually just losing my mind. Because they aren't the only team.
Could be lack of pressure too, right? They know that there's going to be time. You heard it in the interview. Hosty said it's going to be time where they have to figure stuff out. And maybe that lack of pressure for them to actually do something to make something happen has enabled them just to try to make plays, work together as a team.
Like right there, what we saw from Roll20 is you saw Army of the Dead used, right? Not an unreasonable resource considering those circumstances, but old Roll20, leyline seals at the exact same time, sets up the flank and is ready to body you when you get out of the leyline. But there, way too hesitant. And then Superstars goes, well, how can we capitalize? It's a little bit of both ends here, but it's just so insane to see that. Hosey, nice use of the leaping strike. He survives once more by what seems like nothing. And for the first time now, the shrines are controlled by Roll20. They're abusing the Medivh match, or excuse me, the Dahaka matchup we were talking about earlier, and they'll get a Dragonite.
Damage to Yoda to make him barrel roll away. Just in the nick of time too, because Justin was coming up for the maybe, hopefully, to take out Falstad. But Roll20 get a Dragonite. They have stabilized. They're gonna start sieging down. They have the rest of the 4 sieging into the bottom. So they're gonna send the Dragonite up to the top lane just to try to split pressure as much as they can. They want to be able to get as much as they can out of this, but that does mean that the Dragonite is up in the top. Falstad is the only one up there too. The rest of Superstars is engaging on top of the 4-man of Roll20. And Yoda's gonna fly in.
Yoda does. He gets a gust as well, pushing Prismaticism into a terrible corner. Leyline goes down, same with the Ancestral, and Prismaticism is just fine. Howling Blast locking down Yoda, but he does not go down. Hosey's kiting it out. Aegis is used. The Medivh portal is there, and Roll20 looks like they step down. The Dragonite, meanwhile, again, is just split pushing it out, up on top, getting value on other sections of the map here for Roll20.
Yeah, that worked out well for Roll20. They didn't lose anybody. Superstars came down with Falstad, hoping to get a fight, win a decisive team fight from that, knowing that they would likely be sacrificing that top 4. But it is top. It's the least important when you look at being able to end the game because of the death bridge there. I
like what we saw there from Roll20. It's something now thinking about it, I would like to see more just in general with their Medivh play, because they are the most prominent Medivh team in North America, is forcing those kind of 4 versus 5 circumstances, because normally the reason you don't like 4 versus 5s is because you're just straight down a man. You're like, you know, we're going to die. But unless you immediately get one shot at the right side of the fight, you have a essentially permanent disengage. With your portal having nearly 100% uptime, you can just run away, all 5 members, not just the Medivh, and you have Leyline on top of it.
And you're gonna negate a lot of damage, and you can even help heal up once you get 16.
And so I just would like to see more 5 versus 4, 4-1 split pushing, where they bait all the members into facing them, and then just abusing the fact that Medivh is actually just insane. The mobility he provides for an entire team. Everybody's a Genji when you have a Medivh, really is the best way to put it. And, you know, it was cool movement there. I really do enjoy that. It's just maybe we can see more of that from them in the future.
It makes a lot of sense on Dragonshire specifically because you have the Dragonite. So whereas you might see a team put Medivh, another team put Medivh in the Dragonite, in this case making sure that he can stay out so that they can have this good 4-man with a damage dealer, the support warrior, and then the Medivh to give that mobility and supplemental shielding.
Howling Blast doesn't land there for Justing. Testing the waters, really. The flight coming in from Yoda. The gust is there. Justing is found, but he is immediately out. He actually walks back in. He's like, thank you. I will take this portal. I'm ready to battle. The drag just barely missing, connecting to a minion only. And now Roll20 had a pretty start. A lot of fireworks. Now they might not want this fight.
This is Li Ming inside of the cocoon. Arrow's going to dive onto the back line. Justing help gets Li Ming out. They've got the portal too. Goku's going to go into the back line. Checking out Iacona, Ancestral Healing as well as the Medivh Shield. We've got Leyline COL, Iacona, and the Dahaka in the bottom. Dahaka pulls him back in. We know Goku lands those drags. 2 kills so far for Roll20.
Goku was just an absolute bully there to Iacona. And Iacona couldn't have done nearly anything different. That is one of those circumstances where you guys go, I need Peel. Hello, I need Peel. I need a team. I need Peel because I can't deal with this Dahaka.
They're just like, we're in Leyline.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It was a good job by Goku identifying that mismatch, though. He saw that Iacona was out of position. And even if he doesn't get that kill, he forces a lot of poor maneuverability. Oh, man, just words today are flat out hard. On the side of Superstars in the team fight, making them to Peel. They have to get into a bad position. And either way, it was a win-win, but it was nice to be able to blatantly see Goku have an intent in a fight and it eventually come into life.
What I like too is you could just see the top of that shrine and you see the sacred sweep come out. You're just like, Kona's having a rough time.
I like the one moment where finally Iacona comes back in the frame and then the drag comes in and he's like, nah, get back here. Just like,
rips him back.
You're mine. Goku just looking like he's just rabid there, just licking his lips. Dragonite's up. Goku is the man in the Dragonite. Nice stun up and adjusting, but again, there's always the portal.
Yeah, Force Ball is just not the same when you've got a door through it.
It really isn't, man. It's just a straight, almost an invitation to drop a portal. Medivh sometimes might be like, you know, where does this portal go? Who am I going to be able to help the most with this portal? And Tacitus Force Wall makes it pretty clear pretty quick.
Could they maybe use it to force a portal to go down in an unsavory position and then jump on either? Or jump on while it's being dropped?
I mean, you could, or you could try and go for another Gust play here.
Portal.
Urho's gone, man. Not even got the cocoon. No opportunity to pop the W. He's just deleted there. Nice follow-up from Prismat. Now they're setting their focus here to the mid-fort.
No keep was taken down with the Dragonite, but Roll20 has found their footing in the game. They've got a 2-level lead, working on trying to get level 20. And getting some mercenary camps, so they're starting to prep this bottom lane so that they can make something happen with their 20.
They should be able to make a lot in that amount of time. The difference between the two experience, between the two in experience and the levels is just huge. They have, you know, they'll have the Epic Mount, or excuse me, not the Epic Mount, the Apex Predator before, as long as we see them commit. Do they go that direction?
Yes.
They do. So I feel like it's very realistic that this is next Dragonite phase should just go over to Roll20 purely off of, again, the talent tier advantage and having a better global now for a small period of time.
Arcane Brilliance is going to help out a lot in being able to set up this next siege. Team got the Giants just to buy some time for their Giants and the Bruisers push here that they're about to go into to go after that bottom keep of Superstars, opening up a way for them to win the game off of a team fight.
Nobody's dealing with the nice. Actually, Dahaka's kind of side-soaking between mid and top. Eventually, he's going to find his way back up here. And 30 seconds away from the Dragonite. Because it's this close, I don't want to see Dahaka at any time put concentration towards this bottom half of the map. Hopefully, he just keeps doing his thing up between mid and bottom because he should be keeping that pressure up. But we have to look for a Gust flight, as this is the best opportunity to be able to do that once the minions go down like that, but nobody on the side of Superstars is going to do it. Yoda is very patient here.
You can see Glaurung continually keeping up a portal to retreat from, should something like that happen, whether it's Airho Burrow charges in or Falstad potentially comes in for a Gust, having that down to try to make sure that that is available for the team to escape, at least enough members to escape. Well, 20's hanging out here. They haven't been able to get an opening somewhere, you know, a kill here, being able to push the minions up so that they can take out the keep. It's slow and steady siege. They have Li Ming, she can throw down. Glaurung's even going to go in to try to scare away some of Superstars so they can push up this minions and get a few skill shots from Prismaticism on the keep. We'll get it down to half health.
I wonder if this is going to work out for Roll20. I'm going to be honest, I see the thought process here. And it's working over time, but giving this free 20 up to Superstars, is that worth what a Dragonite with a 20 advantage would have been? I don't think so. And look at Urho got a free flank. Nobody knows this is an anchor. Granted, they have Glaurung. They have Glaurung, so like, again, Medivh literally breaks the rules of Heroes of the Storm. You're like, oh, somebody should be anchoring, and he's just like, oh, we have a portal, 100% uptime to be able to nope right on out whenever. So it's not nearly as intimidating.
This whole time, Falstad and Dahaka have just been playing the Beacon game, the Shrine phase game. They're going back and forth. Dahaka moved into position. Hey, I'm going to be able to take the Dragonite, guys. Hold on. And then Falstad's like, nope.
See, now they're all portaling out to be able to make the play up on a mid. See, that was the clever play I expected from them, but I expected it before their opponents hit 20. Because now they're going to contest the Dragonite. Does this make sense? You know why I was so confused with that?
Well, they got the keep pretty far down, so if they can get this Dragonite and get a couple of kills, but it's not going to be a free one. You're right, because they don't have the 20. Here comes Goku.
And now they lose the bottom shrine. Yoda comes back, and now it's a full 20-on-20 even fight.
Justin gets pretty low. Ancestral healing and the Force of Will.
Rewind was used by Urho, so he has another burrow charge out if needed. Dahaka's going to get bottom, so keep in mind, Roll20's got a Dragonite in a couple seconds. Glorung starts the channel immediately. Urho moves up, but Leyline, see you, boys. Thanks for the free Dragonite.
This is Glaurung, who's inside of the Dragonite, but Roll20 understand that it is very likely end game scenario for them, although Goku Burrows has his heal back up.
If Goku, oh man, if they all committed to that kill and got into Goku, maybe, but now Dragonite's completely stuck on its own. Glaurung, if he takes too much free damage here, they can't end the game. As long as Hosie's not kicked away. Now they can't end. All because of that cycling of pressure on the Knight on bottom. And Glaurung getting cut out, to be honest, and taking that much free damage. If he cycled back, that Knight goes down, or excuse me, the keep goes down, and then they can debate if they can take the 5 versus 5, or at least postulate if they, you know, posture around, question if they want to move up, and now they can't even test the waters. Hosie moves up.
I love that Superstars are getting aggressive on this, knowing that it's Glaurung who's inside the Dragonite. Prismaticism's in trouble.
Yoda is too, though, and he got in the 1v1 for a long while. Goku is just tracking him down the flight. Drag is going to be missed, so Yoda, he's going to fly away and manage to survive another day, but Urho may not, as the chase is real here. Nice dismount.
Portal, burrow charge there.
And it looks like they're fine.
Superstars lose a keep, but not the game.
Yeah, Superstars are, they've got to be loving everything, because now they've found what was a level and a half disadvantage where I was like, Gilly, I just see this being a free Dragonite. Think about that. I told you, when we looked at circumstances, I was like, free Dragonite, keep 100%. We are now 4 minutes later, and Superstars are at, yes, they have lost the keep, but they have managed to get that window. They stalled it out way more. They have put up way bigger of a fight across the board. So many things that we could have expected here from Roll20 just aren't existing, and Superstars, though you could argue that, yes, it maybe is a misplay on the side of Roll20, Superstars is capitalizing. And that is better than I could say about Superstars last week, and definitely when looking at Phase 1.
Superstars has Prismatic Link, which is huge for the Tassadar build, being able to now have that bouncing attack. But the level 20 talent that is interesting me for Falstad, Yoda, is not getting your epic mount.
He's got an almost full auto attack build, even with the giant killer there, then going with the movement speed.
Honestly, maybe it's just they've done so much damage to Justing now. He takes a lot of damage, he pops army, he gets the Force of Will, potentially Ancestral Healing, and then he wants to go back in. They want to go back in for the reinitiate, but as Superstars is getting later and later now, they have Prismatic Link, they have Lunara who's scaling up now. Maybe they just feel like they can just body him in a fight and then get the Dragonite after that.
Absolutely, with the amount of pressure they can apply with that build that they have on the Falstad, it's very realistic to be like, Arthas is the kill target, but Iacona is a huge kill target here for Roll20. It forces Aegis and a Gust from them. We also have to note that means that Goku has the upper hand on the global factor for Dragonshire. So this phase, they should have a big upper hand, especially with that camp. But Urho's gonna go in, 3-man knockout. Prismat is terribly low. The stun, the leap, Justing falls so low, but the shield Ancestral!
Oh man, Roll20 do it. They combo the abilities and keep Justing alive. They take down Anubarak, and now things are going from bad to worse for Superstars. Yoda caught, dodges the drag, barrel rolls out. He is hoping for his life to stay alive, but in the end, Roll20 find him and bring him down. On the backside though, Superstars still trying to do what they can with this Lunara Ariel Tassadar combination.
Oh, Hosie is the last man standing with Tassadar, and those are not enough. Goku comes in there with that burrow. He's gonna throw it on to W, drag hits, and Lunara is dead. Medivh is on his way up towards top. Dahaka is going to be the person looking to lock in the Dragonite, and everybody else is moving on to core because Roll20 has found themselves a lead in this series, 2-1.
Dragonite picked up, well taken out. It's important.
It should be
Get
noted,
the minions up there.
we have 20 seconds away until Falstad can spawn. But, I mean, just look at the damage.
Even using the ghouls from Army of the Dead.
Goku comes in, says, what's up? I'm a scary Dragonite.
Roll20 able to win on Dragonshire Superstars Battleground, where Superstars were able to win on Battlefield Roll20's Battleground. But in the end, we're looking at a 2-1 lead for Roll20 in this series.
12-1 in kills that game in favor of Roll20. Only one pick. Who ended up being? Buds one time got cut out, remember? On bottom, the auto attack. That was the only kill they got the whole game, was Buds intentionally playing hella greedy and diving and getting a bite, going too far in, and Poison Ticks getting the kill. That's crazy. The dominance Roll20 showed. Minus, you know, that weird, awkward moment where they're like, you know what? We gave them a chance that maybe shouldn't have existed, but everything else was pretty crisp.
Well, it did feel like they were just way more concerned with making sure that they could get that keep down, or at least as much damage as they could. And maybe they felt like, oh, we'd rather just do the damage we know we can deal versus having this Dragonite come in where we don't know how things would happen potentially. Maybe someone gets caught out, whereas we can just keep most of us together if we're sieging in the bottom.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, take what you know you can get versus what you possibly could get. It's just, that was one of those circumstances. I definitely can understand that, like, argument of going, like, always sticking to what you know and never taking too big of a risk, especially if you think you're the better team, and learning stuff like this new roster is. But I would have liked to see more. Again, I just want that kind of pressure. I might be asking too much of Roll20. I say that about Gale Force and Tempo and Roll20 because of their international experience. I just want to see that influence hit North America. But every one of those teams is also roster swapping, role swapping at the same time. So maybe it is a bit too hard on them, but I love perfect play. I don't know. You know, it's at least the closest thing we can get to it.
But Superstars have made so many changes, even just not from last week to this week, but just from, Friday when they played to now. What gives?
I feel like for them, the difference between Friday and today, I mean, I feel like it's a lot of it is just that
it was yesterday.
Or they were just not happy with it and said, well, what's the first thing you can go to is draft. But then all the in-game stuff, no idea. I have no idea how that changes that fast, other than waking up on the right side of the bed that morning. I don't know, eating the Wheaties, something. Superstition of any kind is only thing I got.
Well, granted, I guess they did win yesterday versus Even in Death, so maybe some mentality played into it. They were able to get their first win. Now they're playing against a team, again, that they would believe would have the upper hand in this match, and sometimes that does take the pressure off of you, where you can, we heard Hosty, just be more focused on your improvement game by game. So that has worked out so far for them. Let's see where we're going for the next battleground, and potentially the last of the evening.